want to introduce you to my good friend.
Good morning. Hey guys, I forgot to do my phone check that I do every morning, and I'm using my phone to live stream with. Can you call me, not for the air, just right now off the air, to make sure my phone's working? The 888-GO-CANE-1 number, 888-465-2631. It would help me out. I just got to I always do a phone check when I turn the phones on in the morning, and I forgot today.
These are name brand shoes. They're stylish.
The 888-465-2631 number.
Foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com.
Steve Kane Show. Uh-oh, I need some more calls. Just so I know that it's working. 888-465-2631. Uh-oh. I need to know that it's not going to the voicemail, that it's going to me. This is not for the air, just a phone check. 888-465-2631. Oh, here we go. Thank you, guys. Steve Kane Show. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, there. Well, I appreciate the help. Thank you. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Oh, hey, great. Thanks for the help, Brian. Good. Thanks for the help. Take care. Steve Kane Show. 977-94. Great. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Steve Kane Show. Great. Thanks for the phone check. Okay, guys. All right. No more calls. Not for the phone check. Steve Kane Show. Oh, great. Thanks. Steve Kane Show. Hey, great. Thanks so much. Steve Kane Show. Great. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Okay. No more calling unless you want to go on the air. Thanks, everyone, for doing the check. Steve Kane Show. Great. Thanks so much. Well, the reason I usually do it before the show, I forward our phones to the voicemail after I get off the air in the mornings, and in the mornings I switch them back over to be on the air, and I usually do a check right before I start the live stream, but I live stream on my iPhone, so I can't do the check unless I go into the other room. So thank you everyone who did. You can still call if you want to go on the air.
Like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855.
Oh my goodness.
3782 1-855 FLA 3782.
Awesome.
GO-CANE-1. And now, here.
Hey guys, welcome. Yes, welcome to the program. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. If you are new here, welcome to the program. You're going to love this show. This is not only the longest running show in the state of Florida, this is the political show of record. That's true. in Florida, in the Florida radio market and beyond. And it's certainly, this is the most pro-Donald Trump show you will find anywhere, on any radio dial, anywhere. And those of you that watch us on YouTube, this is the Maga YouTube channel of record as well. That's right. And we are here live every weekday morning from 6 until 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, talking about all the issues and taking your calls live and unscreened on the radio. And, of course, the Friday show is the most important show of the week. Do you know why that is, you regular listeners? The Friday show is not just our live morning show this Friday morning, but our overnight rebroadcast on all of our radio stations for the entire weekend, because we're also on the air midnight till 6 a.m., 7 nights a week, with our overnight rebroadcast. And the Friday show, just on our Florida radio stations, I'm not including my YouTube channel, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, our radio station app, and all the other places that carry this program with and without our permissions. And remember, you are not permitted to share any portion of this show without express written permission from us. So if you are carrying this show without that, you are in violation. But just on our radio stations, the Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show airs a total of 35 times before we return live to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best. And boy, do we got a lot to talk about today. Well, okay, I want to get this one out of the way really early, because there's an old phrase, sometimes a banana is just a banana. And I want to talk about this fake White House set that Biden is using, that's across the street from the White House. And there's a lot of speculation, a lot of discussion. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? And I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but there's not so much of a conspiracy theory, but there is indeed a cover-up. And I first heard this yesterday from the very smart and brilliant Ari Fleischer, who was George W. Bush's press secretary, was with President Bush on 9/11. And also Stephen Miller talked about this last night as well. Why is Biden using the fake White House? And I thought it was very strange. The first time I saw him use it, I thought it was a set that they set up in the East Room. Where in the East Room of the White House is where they do a lot of television things because of the size of the room. And I was very surprised to find out that they have this fake White House set across the street. And I really couldn't figure out why. I didn't really have an explanation until Ari Fleischer explained it yesterday, and then Stephen Miller reaffirmed it. Biden is in the White House. The way things are set up in the White House, the White House is a beautiful place of majesty, although it is very small. If you've ever been to the White House, I've been to the White House. It is tiny, and it's also tacky. Some of that furniture is pretty tacky, but it is smaller than you realize. It's a lot smaller when you're in those rooms than it looks on television. All of the rooms of the White House. But the way that it works in the White House, they can't have Biden using a teleprompter without it being seen. And not only the teleprompter being seen, the words on the teleprompter can be seen by people that are there. And anyone can either put it on television or take out their cell phone and take a photograph and see it happening. And using this television set that they're using across the street, the White House television set, it's at a different angle, and it's a controlled television studio. Biden is able to use a teleprompter that is directly on the lens of the camera and read without people seeing what he's reading, without the teleprompter being visible, and also the words are not visible to people that are watching from the press because of the angle that they sit at in this professional television studio that they built, I'm sure at great expense, across the street from the White House. And Ari Fleischer was talking about why they would care, because Harris Faulkner said, we've seen teleprompters with presidents, they all use them all the time. It's nothing new. And Ari Fleischer said, yeah, they don't mind you seeing a president using a teleprompter if they're with it. And Biden is not with it. And they're trying to promote this sense that he is with it. And then after I heard him say that, I remembered something that they talked about when Obama first became president. This was a very, very interesting thing. Obama was not expected to be the nominee for the Democrats back in 2008. Hillary was, and he ran really for the same reason Mayor Pete ran, to elevate himself. And he didn't think and things got crazy, and he got the nomination and got elected, but they thought Obama would just become a household name from that and maybe become secretary of something. They didn't think that this would happen. So when he got elected, he wasn't quite ready. Wasn't quite ready. And he had a tendency to say some of the things that he says at his private Acorn SEIU functions. Like, remember the Joe the Plumber moment? Sometimes you got to spread the wealth around, right out of Mal's Little Red Book. And I remembered yesterday that they actually were thinking about, in the White House press briefing room for Obama, installing monitors inside the podium where only the person at the podium in the White House press briefing room could see, that could give him answers to questions. The media were talking about this, give him answers to questions in real time when he was being asked from the press something he may not have an answer to. And that's what they're doing with Biden. And what that tells me is that Biden's mental state is far worse than we suspected. And I don't think that he's just reading like prepared statements. He very well may be reading answers when he's asked questions. They may be typing in real time answers to questions he's asked. And, Rush Limbaugh, when he first lost his hearing before it was announced and we knew what was going on, some of you may remember those days. It was we didn't know what was going on with Rush then, because he didn't announce. We didn't know about the prescription drug addiction issue. We didn't know that he had lost his hearing, and he was and this was before he had the implant, of course, Rush, and he sounded different on the air. His voice sounded strange. And when everything broke about Rush, he talked about on the air in very, very detailed explanation as to what was going on before we knew. And they actually had, and I don't know if they did this after he had the implant or not, but they did this before he had it, certainly, Rush, because he couldn't hear. They hadn't announced it. When he would take calls, they had someone transcribing to Rush in real time what a caller was saying, even color coding the text so he would know the mood of the caller. And this was before he announced he had the problem and had lost his hearing. And that is the kind of thing they're doing with Biden. And they can't do it at the White House because of the way things are set up there. It can't be done without it being shown on camera. So this White House set gives them control of the camera angles. It's a professional set. And I think we can take from that he is severe. His mental challenges are far worse than we have been officially been told or even observed. He must have some moments that are pretty rough, and that's what's going on there. And the explanation is it's more simple than you would say. I know there's a lot of online conspiracies about it, but I think Ari Fleischer and Stephen Miller are in the loop, and it isn't just their opinion. I think they also have people giving this information to them, and shame on the media. Shame on the mainstream media. This is a huge change in the White House press briefing situations, and it should be it should be a major focus, like the Mary Garland story. It should be a major focus of all the newscast, no doubt about that. Now, yesterday on the show, we made a big announcement about our Steve Kane Show Maga 2022 cruise, which is in January. We leave 9 days on January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox, and we had a major change on our destinations, which has me all excited. And everyone I've talked to that's in our group so far, they're very excited about this. I was talking to my daughter this morning, actually. My daughter was up early. We were talking, and she's excited too. We're going to Bonaire, Curacao, Aruba, which I'm super excited about, and our one destination, the Cayman Islands, which is a great place. We went there on our last cruise, but our destination to the Cayman Islands has been switched out with Jamaica. We're going to Jamaica, and we are doing shore excursions as a group in at least 2 of these destinations. But one of them is going to be in Jamaica, and it's called the Dunn Falls. But those famous waterfalls of Jamaica that you see in any commercial you've ever seen, visit Jamaica, man. You always see the waterfall, right? It's in every movie, it's in every television show that ever visits Jamaica. Well, we're going there as a group, and it's going to be a great time. And Richie, the bus driver, has been there. He called yesterday, and he talked about how there's like a competition, a challenge to climb to the top of the waterfalls. I'm going to try that, and can't go to Jamaica without having rum. So I talked to Ian yesterday. I said, is there a way to have some kind of rum bar or something, a rum tasting connected with this, which of course we'll do after we descend from the falls, not before. I'm not going to walk up there tanked on the rum, and he's going to look into that and says it certainly can be made to happen. So this is our Maga cruise. We got a great Maga group of people on this cruise, and you heard Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. He's our travel agent that has handled all the cruises. He said yesterday there's only going to be about 1,000 passengers on the cruise. Usually on this ship there's 2,800. And there's only going to be 1,000. So we're basically going to have our own private cruise ship. And the Celebrity Equinox, we took a cruise on this a couple of cruises back. It's been completely remodeled and refitted since that cruise. You're not even going to recognize it. It's like a brand new ship out of the shipyard, and it's beautiful. We're going to have a great time. We have a lot of shipboard activities planned. Of course, dinner every night. We're going to go to shows together, our shore excursions, and this is going to be a great time. Our private cocktail parties. Of course, those of you that have been on our past cruises, which has become a regular thing on all of our cruises, is our martini tasting thing that we do. We're going to do that, of course, again, and so much more. But all of you are invited to join us on the Steve Kane 2022 Maga Cruise. We leave on a Friday, January 21st, and return the following Sunday. It's a 9-day cruise at an incredible low price. Give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call and join us. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. And you can call him about pricing. Pricing varies based on what cabin you choose. But these are the lowest prices you'll ever get for a cruise like this because we locked this in at the height of the pandemic. 561-244-5779. That's Ian with Cruise and Travel Depot. We'll be right back.
My name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we're back. It is 21 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Joe Biden revealed Thursday, this is in Breitbart, Joe Biden revealed Thursday he personally called up a hospital after a friend struggled to get some care in an emergency room. Biden says this, "Last night I was on the television, he said it twice. I was on the telephone with a person." Did he mean to say he was on the telephone and he said television twice? This is a quote from Biden. "Last night I was on the television. I was on the telephone with a person at an emergency hospital ward in Pennsylvania." Biden began sharing his story at an upcoming event promoting mandates in Illinois Thursday. Biden explained his friend's significant other, a woman, had difficulty breathing while suffering from a high fever, prompting his friend to take her to the hospital. He said the waiting room was so crowded and backed up that the woman was unable to be cared for by medical staff immediately. "Because I knew this person, I called the desk, the receiving nurse, and asked what the situation was," Biden said. Biden said he was not complaining because the nurses and doctors were getting the living hell kicked out of them. To make a long story short, it took a while because of it's hard to read quotes from Biden. He stammers so much. The vast majority of emergency rooms were occupied, taking care of COVID patients, he said. So what he did, I'm unclear as to when this was. I'm a little unclear as to when this was, but was this after the inauguration or before the inauguration? I'm not sure. It doesn't say. I'm skimming through another story on it, and it doesn't say. Well, here's the thing. You know, when you go to a hospital emergency room, they triage you. To you need to see a doctor. You need to see them now. But you know what? There's a lot of other people there that need to see a doctor now, too. No matter what, unfortunately in my life, I've been to a lot of emergency rooms. And I've spent an hour upon hour in an emergency room waiting for care with my wife. Because there are people that come in that are in a worse condition. Right? There could be sometimes babies come in with fever. Sometimes people come in after car accidents, after gunshot wounds and everything else. And the hospitals triage. And they triage based on who needs care most urgently. But see, in Biden's America, the connected get health care. Not who needs it first. It's if you're connected enough and you can get on the phone, the President of the United States, and call. And you know what? This story's in Breitbart. Why isn't this the lead on Fox? Why do I have to read this in Breitbart? Someone did not get care. I knew a guy in high school. He was a crack dealer that I went to high school with. And he got shot. And he walked into an emergency room, Plantation General on 441 in Fort Lauderdale. He got shot. And it was with a .22. And he said when he got shot, there was like one drop of blood and the wound sealed. And he walked into the ER and they told him to sit and wait. They had someone worse than him they had to see first. Can you imagine? This is what happens in emergency rooms. I remember when my daughter was a baby, when my daughter was less than a year old, she had a fever. And we went to the emergency room. And it was busy. And, when you're a parent with a baby, everything's, a big deal. But a fever is a big deal, right? And I remember my wife and I, we were in an emergency room. She had it. We went to the closest hospital. She had a fever, okay? And they wouldn't see her right away. They had other patients that they had to see first. And a fever with a baby is a big deal. They had the triage. That's the way ERs work. They're always this way. And we waited a little bit and said, this is enough. And we got in the car and went to another hospital. And they took her in right away because they weren't as busy with people that were in more serious conditions. But see, I don't have the cell phone number of the President of the United States. And if you do, and it's Biden at the other end, they get you right in. Could you imagine if a story came out that Donald Trump called a nurse at an ER station, and when you get a call, it's not a direct call, that you get a call, this is the White House calling, the President of the United States is on the line. Can you imagine if Donald Trump had done that, got on the phone at an ER, and got someone that he knew personally, jumped in front of the line at an ER, emergency room, triage line? Are you kidding me? They would impeach him for that. Biden does it. Wow, that's how bad things are in America. Joe's got to cut corners and give the connected. And I'd like to know who this friend is. Is this friend of Biden's a donor? Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Oh man, I tell you, this is insanity. This is insanity. This banana republic that we are living in. And the media, the media is infomercial television. They're infomercial television. And what they're promoting is pretty simple. They're promoting Democrats. They're promoting Biden and nothing else. And you know what? If Trump did that, and he wouldn't do it, but if Trump did that, the media would be right to call him out on it. You don't call and intimidate a nurse at an emergency room as President of the United States and get someone that you are friends with bumped up in front of the line and get them immediate care. Somebody else could die because of that. I mean, this is insane. And there really should be an investigation into this. Jen Psaki should be called upon by Ducey to get more detail. Who was this? What hospital was it? And then, if Fox could take a moment to stop congratulating themselves on 25 years on the air, they could actually, how about reporting a story and go over there and find out what happened? Find out what the conditions were in the ER that day. Were there people in there that were sick, that were injured, that needed to see a doctor, and they got put off because some rich fat cat friend who's it didn't even say wife, didn't in that story. It could have been his sugar baby, for all the hell I know. Got in there? Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I want to hear your thoughts on this at 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great work and the incredible prices at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental. Richie the bus driver called Steve Kane on the air and told him about his experience at Brighton Dental.
Good morning. I have to talk about Brighton Dental because your sponsor is a miracle worker. I broke my tooth. I fractured it and went backwards in my mouth.
Oh my
front top tooth. I put it back into the socket. It felt like it was falling out. I had pain. I couldn't even eat spaghetti. And I was going to a wedding in New York 2 days later. And I said, what am I going to do? The dentist here wanted to charge me $120 just to look at it and to tell me he couldn't do anything. I went to Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. I traveled 139 miles. I would do it again in a heartbeat, each way. Okay? The man sat and worked on my tooth for 2 hours, put a pin in it, put it back in place. I could eat anything I want. He said it was temporary. He did such a great job. It feels like permanent. I have no pain. I can eat anything I want now. And the fact of the matter, this is what really was unbelievable. I was getting on the bus to go to the reception, okay, in New York City. He knew I was in New York. The phone rings. Who do you think's on the line?
Dr. Gupta.
Right. He wants to see if everything is going okay and if I'm in any pain. The guy is unbelievably wonderful. I mean, thank you so much.
Susan, you asked about your dog. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. I do not know the answer to that. I do not know.
He's over there at Brighton Dental. He takes really good care of you. He's very conscientious. Dentistry is an art when you stop and you think about it. And Dr. Gupta certainly is an artist, and we're so pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know if you need a dentist, and the guy is so good at what he does. He's so gentle, and I mean, I don't like dentists. This guy is top shelf, and I'm going down to him to get it permanently put in. But right now, I don't have any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's
I put a link in there to my Twitter feed. You guys follow me on Twitter. I put all my show prep goes up on my Twitter. I pinned the link right up there.
Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WNN.
Oh, man. I tell you, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Now, this story here is insane to me. We had this school shooting. And the media usually obsess over school shootings, but this school shooter is black. So immediately it's out of the news because we know only white people are school shooters. Even Nicholas Cruz from Parkland, who's Hispanic, he's white, they say, Well, we can't do this. We can't do a story. He's black. And then they let the school shooter out on bail? I mean, I love Greg Abbott in Texas, but what the heck? How does a school shooter get out on bail? Can someone explain that to me? What the hell? When I first saw this yesterday, I thought, this is Babylon Bee. The Daily Mail. The teenage gunman who opened fire in an Arlington, Texas school on Wednesday celebrated at home after being released on a $75,000 bond. While his victims, a 15-year-old boy and 25-year-old teacher, remained in the hospital, one of them clinging to life, he shot 2 people. And he's out on bail? A school shooter? Are you freaking kidding me? Timothy George Simpkins was being held on a $75,000 bond on 3 charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but the 18-year-old walked out of Tarrant County Jail Thursday afternoon. A bondsman met the bail terms on Thursday, posting at least some of the full amount, and he walked free. A school shooter who shot 2! The hell? On Wednesday, now the school shooting happened. He shot 2 people, 25-year-old teacher, 15-year-old kid. He did that on Wednesday. Friday, he's home out on bail. I've never heard of such a thing. On Wednesday, he pulled a gun from his backpack and shot a 15-year-old boy 7 or 8 times. Shot teacher Calvin Petit, not sure how to pronounce the last name, in the back. And he grazed a teenage girl. So he shot one in the back, shot one 7 or 8 times, and he grazed a teenage girl before going on the run from Timberview High School. He was angry about a fight that just happened where the 15-year-old boy repeatedly punched him. Oh, okay. Okay. I get it now. Okay, let the shooter... Are you kidding me? Simpkins said nothing as he strode out of jail on Thursday in a blue t-shirt, matching baseball cap worn backwards, and jeans. It's unclear why he has been charged with aggravated assault and not attempted murder or more serious charges, or why the judge granted him bail. You know why the judge granted him bail? Because the judge is a bleeding heart liberal lunatic. That's why the judge let him out of jail. Now, if one of them die, I guess they would revoke the bail and rearrest him. I don't know. Hours later, one of his relatives, now I'm reading from the Daily Mail. Hours later, one of his relatives boasted on social media that he was already home and shared videos from a family gathering inside the home. He was shown holding a baby, standing in the kitchen, and chatting to relatives. Meanwhile, teacher Calvin, whose last name I can't pronounce, but the 25-year-old teacher was shot, who was shot because he tried to break up the fight. Oh my goodness. So not only did he shoot 2 people, he targeted them. He targeted the 15-year-old kid because he had punched him in a fight, and he shot the teacher because the teacher broke up the fight. Meanwhile, the teacher who was shot because he tried to break up the fight remained in the hospital with a bullet in his shoulder that narrowly missed his aorta. The 15-year-old boy who was shot 7 or 8 times has not yet been named, but is in the hospital in critical condition. The teacher's sister, upon learning the shooter had been released, tweeted, "How can this keep managing to get worse?" The district attorney has not filed a case against the teen, and the next court date has not even been scheduled. Simpkins, he's the shooter. He is 5'9", weighs 135 pounds. He opened fire in his classroom at Timberview High School Wednesday morning, shortly after 9 a.m., after a fight with a 15-year-old boy who has not been named. So did the fight happen on Wednesday too? So he was strapped already. He had a gun already. He already had a gun. Where did he get the gun? What? Where did he get? Is he 18? The shooter? You can't possess a handgun legally until you're 21 in the United States. What the hell? So he already had a gun. A video of their fight was posted on social media by Simpkins' cousin Wednesday night in an effort to prove that he was being bullied. Being bullied does not justify shooting people 7 or 8 times. And was the teacher bullying him too, who tried to break up the fight? And what about the girl that got grazed? It shows Simpkins, that's the shooter, who was identified by police as wearing a light-colored hoodie in the footage, being pummeled by the other boy, who was 3 years his junior, while holding his hands around his neck. Once the fight was over, he went to his orange backpack, pulled out a gun, and started shooting. He had the gun in the school. He brought a gun to school, and they got him out on bail? My goodness. Brings a gun to school in his backpack, shoots 2, one 7 or 8 times, grazes another, out on bail. Once the fight was over, he went to his orange backpack, pulled out his gun, and started shooting. Both he and the 15-year-old boy remain in the hospital. The teacher is expected to survive and is in good condition. As of this reporting, the 15-year-old boy is in critical condition. A third victim, a teenage girl, suffered a graze wound but is no longer in the hospital. A fourth person, believed to be a pregnant teacher, was injured when she tripped over in the chaos, which could cause a termination of the baby. Simpkins, the shooter, was arraigned Thursday morning via video link. He told the judge he understood the charges and that he would retain his own attorney. Multiple teachers and coaches were working to break up the altercation between Simpkins and the juvenile victim. Once the fight was broken up, the juvenile witness observed Simpkins go to the orange backpack and retrieve a black firearm. The witness observed Simpkins point the firearm at the juvenile victim and sees Simpkins shoot 7 to 8 times. The witness, then observed the juvenile victim fall to the ground. See, he's 18, he's an adult, and he shot a juvenile. It's also revealed that the teacher was one of the teachers who tried to break up the fight. The shooter's family spoke out to defend him Wednesday night, claiming he's a lovable boy who snapped after being bullied. Well, then why do he have the gun with him in the backpack at the school? They say other kids picked on him because he has a nice car, a $35,000 Dodge Challenger, and wears nice clothes like a pair of $160 off-white X Nike sneakers. Other social media posts show him sitting in the car with what looks like a black gun in the side of the door. Police confirmed in the arrest warrant that the gun used in the shooting was black. Yep, my guns are black too. You know, they don't mention... why do they keep telling us the gun's black? Most guns are. But they've not given any further details. It's also unclear who the gun belongs to, when it was purchased, and why he was able to get it into the school. Remember, you can't own a handgun, can't possess it until you're 21 in America. The school does not use metal detectors. Simpkins lives in a $400,000 home with his grandmother, Lily. That's the shooter. He drives a 2018 silver Dodge Charger. His family described him as a lovable kid. Now, why is he living with Grandma? Why isn't he living with the rest of the family, with the father and everyone? And sounds like life's pretty good. Sounds like he's got some privilege going on there, right? $400,000 house, very expensive car. He was robbed. It was recorded. It happened not just once, it happened twice. He was scared. He was afraid. It could have been a decision that he could have committed suicide. He was trying to protect himself. He was trying to protect himself? He was able to get things that other teenagers cannot have because he wore nice clothes, because he drove nice cars. He was like a target, says a relative who told reporters outside the family's home Wednesday night. There's no justification of anybody being hurt. We have to take a look at the fact that bullying is real. I do apologize. We ask the families for forgiveness of any type of hurt. Clint Wheat, his cousin, wrote on Facebook, at the end of the day, that is my least favorite expression that people use. At the end of the day, I hate that expression. Hate that expression. This is what his cousin wrote on Facebook. At the end of the day, my little cousin was bullied. They say L-I-L. At the end of the day, my little cousin was bullied. I don't know to feel about this. He is not no bad kid. I don't know to feel about this. He is not no bad kid. Well, where was this big family when he was being bullied? Where were they then? She later claimed in the comments section of her post that her aunt went to the school to report the bullying, but nothing was done. I guess he had to take matters into his own hands, huh? Right now, they're about to come up with what shoulda, coulda been done when all the signs was ignored and the cries for help, she said. Timberland High School did not respond to inquiries about whether or not the bullying event happened. The English teacher's sister that was shot said the bullet narrowly missed his aorta and described the shooting as one of the scariest mornings of their life. Out on bail. How the hell did that happen? And where's the media? If this was a white kid, oh my goodness, they'd be camped out in front of the school to take attention away from Biden's failures. Let's take our last break of the first hour. Those of you that have been calling, my apologies for not getting to the calls. This story is so strange. I had to go through it because the media don't want to tell you about it. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's Kane and the number 1. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week. And we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation. And she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew, were very, very polite, and they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts. It's extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex stuff, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less than what I thought.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself, because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Hey guys, Brian Craig here. I have the MyPillow slippers, and Mike Lindell, he's right. These are the most comfortable slippers I've ever worn. And you can get them for 40% off at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. One of our listeners called in on the air and told us about his experience with the MyPillow My Slippers.
Brian, I have the MyPillow slippers, and I have neuropathy. These are fantastic slippers.
Really? Which ones do you have? Which style do you have?
The fur-lined one.
Oh, the slip-on fur-lined ones?
Yeah, inside, outside.
What is neuropathy, and what are the symptoms?
Well, the nerves in your feet start going bad, and it affects your balance, and it's painful.
So you're wearing the MyPillow My Slippers, which, by the way, 40% off with the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and it's helped with your neuropathy.
Yes, it is. It's much. I have to wear slippers at home. I can't go barefoot or even with socks on.
Wow.
So I have to wear that. And I also have the MyPillow pillow and the MyPillow mattress topper and
That mattress topper is unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
My
man.
wife loves it.
Oh, man. I know, they're all great. Yeah, I know. And by the way, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow slippers, 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, and you get 2 free MyPillows with it. So it's great. Well, that's awesome. Order your MyPillow My Slippers 40% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on radio. Just search for WW.
Oh, man. Oh, man. And that special on the MyPillow My Slippers has been updated. If you click on the radio listener specials, you can actually get those great MyPillow slippers that I have myself for 50% off. Those also make incredible Christmas gifts, great gifts for yourself too. But MyPillow.com radio listener special, 50% off the MyPillow My Slippers. I wear them all. When I go home today, Friday, I'm going to put them on, and I'll be wearing them till I come to work on Monday morning. By the way, Monday is Columbus Day, but we will be here live on Columbus Day, all right? A lot of things closed. You know, I started this a week ago today. Last Thursday, my wife gave me this bottle. She ordered this off of QVC, and she got me this bottle, you know, because my biggest problem in life is health-wise, really, is dehydration. I don't drink enough water, and my wife got me this bottle that it's 64 ounces of water in it, and it has and you fill it with water, and you're supposed to drink this whole bottle every day. And the times are a little off for me because I get up so early in the morning, but it starts at 7 a.m. That's the top line when it's completely full. It says good morning, although I've been up for like 4 hours by then. 9 a.m. Do it for yourself, and then you get down to when you get to 1 p.m. Drink more. And then when you get to the bottom, 7 p.m., you're almost there. And then 9 p.m., you did it. You drank all of it. I have been drinking this 64 ounces of water a day for a week. And let me tell you something. I feel so much better. On Monday, over the weekend and on Monday, I was feeling strange. And I was telling my wife I was feeling strange. It was like almost anxiety. And the reason I was feeling strange is because I've been hydrated properly. I'm properly hydrated, and I'm so unaccustomed to this feeling that I feel just weird. And it's been a week ago today that I've been drinking this bottle of water a day, and sometimes it's tough to get that last swig at night, and I've missed the last swig of it once or twice, but I've been drinking this whole bottle every day, and I feel so much better, and I think I sound better on the air. I think it's increased my energies and everything else. And man, I know. Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting. He stopped by yesterday morning and he asked if it was helping, and it does. And it does because you know you got this. I've been trying to drink enough water every day by drinking bottles of water, and I just can't get through it. But this, I fill it up every day before I leave. And then bring it in, and it's been a life-changing thing. This little bottle, well, it's a 64-ounce bottle that my wife got. It's made a big change. I mean, I can't tell you how much better I feel from a week ago. And I have cut my coffee back in half completely, and actually a little more than half. So, yeah, my wife and I are big QVC people. You guys watch QVC? Oh, man. Yeah. The first few days, I thought when I started this I would be peeing nonstop. In the first few days, I didn't go to the bathroom that much, and I figured that's how dehydrated I am. That my body all the cells are just soaking up the water. But it's made a big difference in my life. Okay, so another capital breacher has been charged. Riley Williams. She's the 22-year-old girl that stole Pelosi's laptop. She looks kind of like Jodi Arias in her mugshot. It says here, let me scroll down. Riley Williams, 22. They describe her as a Capitol rioter. She's been formally charged with stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop. She faces 7 other felony and misdemeanor counts for her participation in the Capitol breach. A judge has banned her from the internet after prosecutors claim she could attempt to eliminate evidence and encourage others to do so. She's been accused by her ex-boyfriend of planning to sell Pelosi's laptop to someone in Russia, who would in turn sell it to the SVR. Is that the new KGB? She is seen in the videos directing people to Pelosi's office from inside the Capitol building on January 6th. A video allegedly recorded by Williams shows someone taking the laptop as a woman suspected to be Williams is heard directing them to be cautious. It's been revealed that she's also posted neo-Nazi videos and sentiments online. She's now facing 20 years behind bars. Okay. Stealing Pelosi's laptop's a big no-no. I get it. That's a crime. But as they're talking about this, you know what's missing? You know what's missing from the charges? You know what I don't see in these charges? The charge of insurrection. Where's the insurrection charge? Where's the charge of trying to overthrow the government of the United States? I say this a lot because I think it's an important thing to be said and to be heard. How can you have an insurrection without insurrectionists? Not one person has been charged with insurrection. Not one. They've charged many people. Dozens have been charged. Hundreds have been arrested. Not one person charged with insurrection. You cannot have an insurrection without insurrectionists. Now, I'm not justifying what she did. Going in there and stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop is a crime. I think we'll all agree with that. But I don't know if they've ever found the laptop, though. Have they found the laptop? That I do not know. And I don't know, it's unclear in the reporting because reporters, you don't have reporters, you don't have writers anymore. The media are a bunch of plagiarists. They just copy and paste what other people wrote in other stories, and they don't look into anything. Was it Pelosi's personal laptop, or was it a laptop of one of her aides? I just don't see Pelosi actually using a computer. Do you guys actually see her using a computer? I just don't see. So I don't know if it was her personal laptop or like a laptop that an aide was using. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's still theft. I get it. But none of these people have been charged with insurrection. And any time there's a story about one of the Capitol breachers charged with something, I always read it immediately to find. And I've noticed in the more recent stories, they're no longer calling it the insurrection. It's being called, in a lot of stories like this one, the Capitol riot. See, they're walking that back. And, I was watching on YouTube last night. Something popped up in my YouTube feed of suggested videos. It was an old video over a year ago. I don't know exactly when, of Alan West. It was a pretty funny video. Alan West. And he was speaking at it looked like a college group or something. I don't know what it was exactly, in Chicago. And he goes to the question section from the attendees, and this biracial social justice warrior that we call SJW, this SJW gets up and asks Alan West this question: "Are you black?" And he laughs. Now, of course, Alan West is African American. And she says, "Well, I don't know if you identify as black." And they went on and they went on and they went on, and it was so crazy and it was so insane. But she was talking about white on black crime, and which is a ridiculous topic when you're speaking in the city of Chicago. And Alan West was talking about Antifa and the riots of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. And unfortunately, something that we are going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives is we've lost the moral high ground publicly in public debate because of the Capitol breach when it comes to these incidents of violence. Because I know what really happened at the Capitol. Don't misunderstand me. But the left, from now until doomsday, are going to point to MAGA and conservatives as being a violent organization because of the Capitol breach that day, regardless of what really happened there. And that's just something, this debate Alan West was having was long before any of that happened. And he was like, well, look at Antifa. You don't see Republicans acting that way. And we've lost in the public debate. I'm not saying this is true in reality. I'm talking about public perception and public debate. We've lost the moral high ground on that argument. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And I knew as soon as I saw on television what was happening, that was going to be the situation. All right, we're coming up on the top of the hour, and I really do apologize for those of you that have been calling in. I will take your calls after the break. 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take that break for the top of the hour and come back with hour number 2 after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65.
Someone said media optics, who cares? Well, see, you're never in a public debate like I am or Alan West and others. And when you're in a public debate and you're being questioned on a stage like this or at an event, you've got to have answers to this. You don't care because you're not involved in a public debate like that.
Great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week, and we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation, and she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning...
Steve Kane Show.
The people that came out...
Hey, Greg, hold on. Steve Kane Show. What's your name? Hold on.
And they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts. It's extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect. So I'm familiar with what the cost could be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed. And my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex duct, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove
Steve Kane Show.
ductwork and install
I do.
ductwork. And I got everything for less than what I thought.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts.
You want to call in and talk to Greg too, Wookie? You can call in. I can conference you in with him if you want. If you call in, Wookie, I'll put you on with him.
It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at stevekaneshow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500.
I'm serious.
954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the
Steve and I used to do that a lot. Put callers up against one another. We haven't done that in a while.
Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE. 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE. 1. And now, here's Steve Kane.
All right. My name's Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. I am the fully hydrated Brian Craig. Welcome. Hour number 2 has begun. Oh, man. All right, we're going to go to our phones at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. But I first want to tell you, Scott at Cut My Kilowatts, he puts that radiant barrier in your attic, reduces the temperature in your attic, in your home, makes your air conditioner work better, and lowers your electric bill. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, give Scott from Cut My Kilowatts a call, all right? He's been doing radiant barrier work for listeners of ours in other parts of Florida. So give Scott a call. Of course, if you're in South Florida, no matter where you want to call him, but no matter where you are in the state of Florida, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. Here's his number. It rings directly to his cell phone, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, 954-939-1500. All right. Greg 2, good morning.
Yes, Brian, good morning. Listen, 2 topics that you addressed. One, you're bashing on Fox News. You can't let go of it. Sean Hannity and the others are great people at Fox News. They consistently bring up opposing opposition to the liberals. You just can't let go of it because they might not have supported Trump 100%. But as far as them going to a hospital, well, you've been in many emergency rooms. Do you think you can march in a hospital? You ever hear of HIPAA?
Yeah, sure. So you're telling me that they can't do any investigative. Let me tell people what you're referencing that may just be tuning in, because I talked about it at the beginning of the show in the last hour. Joe Biden yesterday told a story that he had a friend in an emergency room. It was busy, and they told him to wait in line. So he called personally the nurse at the admissions in the ER and got his friend. It was his friend's lady friend, who could be a sugar baby or his wife. Biden didn't say, and got them to put them to the front of the line. And what I was talking about is, where's the media investigating this? And of course,
Fox News to go into a hospital and start.
Well, yeah, because you're a lawyer, I'm not, but that might be a crime. A crime might have been committed by someone bumping somebody up the list at an ER like that. The President of the United States calling like that's intimidation.
I can rest assure you that there's not a statute for everything, Brian. You think there's a law against everything? You think the President of the United States calls a hospital? He's not.
Well, this one did. He said yesterday, this one did. If Trump did this, are you telling me that the media wouldn't cover it? Oh, HIPAA, we can't cover this corruption.
Listen, they would cover it, and they bash Trump.
And he'd get impeached again for it. They'd impeach him for it. Biden does it. It's not even in the news. Did you hear about it other than me telling you, unless you were watching Biden?
You know what? You're right, Brian. I would have heard about it. And by the way, note to self, the media is not covering this stuff against Biden. We know that. It's like a never-ending story. But let's address the situation with, you're bashing Fox News. Actually, the only really source of conservative, news.
That's not true. That's not true at all. You've got Newsmax. You've got One America News, and I'll tell you, Fox Business is pretty good.
How many viewerships do they have, Brian?
Not as many.
My friends, you know what? Do you have Democrat friends, by the way?
No.
You don't?
No.
Well, I went out to dinner last night with a couple. One's conservative, one's a liberal. And we discussed some of the issues that we listened to, and they not are even aware of it. You don't understand.
Yeah, because they're liberals. Most people are liberal because they don't know what the hell's going on. There's a reason why I don't have liberal friends.
Why?
Well, because, I'm not friends with, let me see, there's other types of people I'm not friends with other than liberals. I'll pick a couple. I'm not friends with any sugar daddies. I mentioned that because I mentioned about Biden and the sugar baby, a sugar daddy. I'm not friends with anyone who is an abortion provider. I'm friends with people who share my outlook on the world, that we have things in common with. I don't have anything in common with liberals. How can I be friends with people that I have so little in common with? What do we have to talk about?
Play golf together. You can do many things together.
I don't want to do anything with a liberal other than talk to them on the phone here on the radio. I have no interest in associating with people of low moral character that support the things that Democrats support. I don't hang out with immoral people, and Democrats are immoral people.
That's where we differ.
Oh, that's interesting. You hang out with immoral people.
Listen, I don't consider liberals immoral. By the way, you want to talk higher moral ground? I'm glad you brought that up. You will not condemn the individuals. There's no excuse to go into a Capitol building. There's no excuse to go in your house. There's no excuse to invade anyone's.
I condemn them. I condemned them the next day. I came on the air and condemned it.
Go to prison, each and every one.
Well, I don't know if everyone should go to prison. I don't know. There's a lot of people. Excuse me. Can I finish my sentence? A lot of those people were in the crowd, and they had a choice: either move with the herd or get stomped to death. Should they go to prison?
They had a choice.
Oh, yeah, sure, they had a choice: get stomped to death or go with the herd into the building. Those people, yeah.
One could have taken the higher moral ground
and gotten stomped to death. Oh, okay.
Say stop, people.
Oh, some of them did. And a lot of them didn't know what was going on. Listen, going into the Capitol is a no-no, okay? I'm not saying that there should be no... Excuse me. I'm not saying that there should be no punishment, but what I'm telling you is not one of the over 500 people arrested and charged has been charged with insurrection, including this Jodi Arias lookalike that stole Pelosi's laptop.
Right. And you know what? She deserves to go to prison, regardless of our opinion on Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, really? I thought as a lawyer you would want a trial and have her judged by a jury of her peers. You just want to throw away the key. Okay.
No. Why would I take a case to trial that's a loser? That's one thing lawyers do.
Oh, so you won't take a case that you can't win?
I'm going to advise my client.
So you only want easy stuff. Oh my goodness. He only takes cases he knows he can win. What about... Oh, my goodness.
I'm not a criminal attorney, so we're talking out of school here. Okay?
Oh.
Law. But by the way, you won't condemn them. You say no. Like it's a child that, didn't eat all their dinner. That was a no.
No, I condemn them immediately the next day. You don't go inside of a... You don't trespass inside of a building.
Inside of a federal building or Capitol building, you diminish that. And you know what?
Do I have to, everybody knows the Capitol's a federal building. Do I have to say that every time?
No, what I'm saying is you diminish it. And you know what? You'll have callers follow suit. Well, they were, ordinary citizens that got caught up in the moment.
A lot of them did. What about the Capitol Police that opened up the gate and were directing them towards the building? What about that group? Should they go to prison too?
I think they should be fired.
No, I didn't say the cops. I said the crowd that were shown where the Capitol Police officer moved the gate and told them to go towards the Capitol. Should those people go to jail too?
Yes.
Oh, even though the Capitol Police told them to go in. Okay.
They all should go in, Brian. You're diminishing it. You don't listen, Brian. If someone opened your door to a crowd flushing your door, would you say, oh, well, it was a no? No, you'd want them to go to prison. You want them for coming into your house. If someone opened your door and said, crowd, come in and invade Brian's house, how would you react? It'd be a whole different story.
Okay.
The only reason you defend them is because they're affiliated with Maga and you're fighting the liberal press. That's the only reason. If anyone went to your house, you would say, it's a no. Let them go on probation. There's no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Know that for a fact. And you know what? If your family was in danger, you defend.
I have never defended the Capitol breach. I condemned it the next day on the air. In fact, I was condemning it immediately on social media when it happened. Okay, so don't try to throw me into something that I have done nothing but condemn it. And I'll tell you, people, some of them committed trespassing charges, some of them committed vandalism. There's there's different levels of things that were committed. But I'll tell you, one of the most outrageous things that was done was by the shaman, right? The Viking. He went in there and sat. Was it in Pence's chair he sat down in? So he made his way all the way in. And he got a slap on the wrist, a 3-year sentence of which he's done almost a year of already for some really low-level charges. Nothing about insurrection or anything. What I'm telling you is, yes, many of those people committed crimes, and they should be prosecuted and face the consequences of those crimes. But most of them are being charged with minor crimes. There's one person that just was sentenced yesterday from the Capitol breach. Prosecutors just wanted no jail time. The judge overruled them and gave them 45 days. Okay, that's a very small sentence for something like that. So I know the Merrick Garland Justice Department, that is very bold in calling people that don't want to buy his kids' books domestic terrorist, has not charged anyone with insurrection, and I think that's important for people to understand, Greg.
You know what? That's a distinction, absolutely, and you've made it countless times.
You can never make it enough because no one else does.
But I'm glad you actually used the word condemned, because
I've been doing this since it happened. I've been condemning it since it happened.
Right, and by the way, you repeatedly said you would never attend a rally like that. You wouldn't go there because you know the negative consequences that could take place. These people had no judgment whatsoever, and if they go to prison, you know what? They serve their time. We're in agreement with something finally, Brian.
Yeah.
Go to prison, serve your time. But this lady that stole Pelosi's laptop, what are you thinking? You're putting your whole future. You're going to be a felon.
No, I said that I'm going to be a felon? Yes. Oh, no. She stole a laptop belonging to the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives that could contain classified information. You know, that's a hardcore felony. And if it's true that she was if it's true what her ex-boyfriend said, that she was going to give it to Russians, she's going to get an espionage charge, and she should. Yeah, I'm not defending any of these people. I'm not defending them.
That I thought you're kind of like diminishing what they've done.
No, I think it's important. No, listen. I think it's very important to talk about these cases and what their charges and convictions and sentences are. And every time I see a story in the news of a sentencing, and notice how they haven't been doing trials. They've been handling these just, in the hallways of the courthouse. When they are sentenced, I go through what they were charged with and convicted of. And almost every time there's one in the news like this, because I want people to know about it. I don't know. I've never done anything since January 7th on the radio but condemn them. I will never defend going into the Capitol building that day. I would not have done it. And yeah.
In closing, Brian, you would not, if you were there, you would never enter that building. If you and your daughter were there, you wouldn't.
Well, if I would like, but if you're, but Greg, come on, sometimes you're in a crowd. I've been in crowds like this, and you have no choice but to walk with the crowd. And a lot of these people got herded in. There's no doubt about it. All right, Greg. Take care. We only have one opening on the board where Greg 2 was at, so we'll take our break, come back with your calls. 17 minutes after 7. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose and to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can get your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, 20 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Oh, by the way, about lawyers only take cases they think they can win. I don't know. I saw some very surprised faces on the O.J. Simpson Dream Team when that acquittal came out. They didn't think they were going to win that one. That's why they had Dershowitz on the team, an appellate attorney. All right, I'm going to take these calls. They are screenless. I don't know who's on hold. Well, I know Doug 2's on one line, but the other callers, I have no idea who they are, but I'll take these calls. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Vincent Wellington, how's it going?
Doing all right.
I was just calling in about what we're seeing with this whole Biden administration and the fake everything with this guy is just, it's unbearable at this point. And I just wanted to comment on Greg Tooze on the Capitol breach and everything else. But, you know, every video that we see of this Capitol breach or so-called breach is very peaceful in the beginning when they enter the building. You know?
Nah, I don't want to... Listen, there's no excuse for going into the building, all right? So I don't want to... There's no excuse. I wouldn't have gone into the building. I have been to the Capitol as a tourist, and you don't walk up the Capitol steps, and you certainly don't climb the walls, okay, to get in. And you certainly don't break windows and climb through windows and, you know, and have people open doors up. That's the Capitol of the United States, you know. So let's, come on.
And everything else. I mean, there is very, very censored.
There's a lot. I will agree with you on that, and there's never going to be a true public investigation into what happened on that day, because they have one narrative they want to push, but there's no justification for going in the building.
Right. Even the narrative that Greg too is pushing, that everybody should be condemned, that these people were just hurtled in there. They did not understand what was really happening.
Some of them didn't, but a lot of them did.
There was such a time gap between the first person that got there and the 1,000 persons that got there. That's the reason why we saw what we saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I realize the groupthink thing is true.
Well, some of them, you know, some of the footage is pretty disturbing. CNN did a special the first weekend, and they had footage from inside. And I thought one thing that was very interesting, they showed the Capitol breachers walking through the Capitol Rotunda, and all of them were walking in line in between the velvet ropes that are put up for the tourists to make sure you walk. And none of them were walking like around in the rotunda. They were walking through the ropes in a line like they were on a tour group. I thought that was strange, but also telling.
The cops let them when the police let them.
Well, some of the police in the building used a tactic to herd them into certain areas away from the House members and everything else. And it was pretty scary. You know, Ronnie Jackson, the great Ronnie Jackson, remember he was President Trump's White House doctor. He's a congressman from Texas, and he's a retired U.S. Navy admiral. And Ronnie Jackson got back into admiral mode, and he got together the Texas delegation of House members, told them to take off their ties because those can be used against you in a hand-to-hand combat situation. And Ronnie Jackson and the Texas delegation unarmed, helped barricade the doors of the House chamber with security. So no, it was a serious situation there. And Ronnie Jackson, luckily, and I'd stand with Admiral Jackson any day. I mean, that was an amazing moment. So there's no justification for anything that went on in there. All right, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now that this Capitol thing with Greg too and everything, total distraction. Greg too is sitting there saying we should condemn and send these people to prison. Well, here's the deal. Which is worse? A building which is the capital of the United States or the whole United States, they take 450 people and put them in solitary confinement for months. Or how about 800,000 a month or whatever it is, almost $1 million a month coming into our...
Well, look, I was talking at the top of the show that school shooter in Texas, he shot a teacher and then he shot a student 7 or 8 times. He's out on bail the day after the school shooting. So what the hell? Well, that you're another... Here's the deal. This kind of backs up what I was talking about before Greg called in. Forever, for the rest of our lives, we are going to be forced to be in a discussion of the Capitol breach. And look what Greg did. Greg did... What did he do? He's taken the direction of the conversation, and look what he's done. He's even got some of our MAGA callers calling in, saying things that really are ridiculous about the Capitol breach. He's got us a total. He's gotten us off topic. This is my fault for going to the phones. I knew this would happen when I went to the phones, but look at. But I did it because I wanted to illustrate what's going on. This is what I mean. For the rest of our lives, we are going to be asked about the Capitol breach from the left. It's never going to end. And regardless of what really happened and how and why, we have lost in the public debate the moral high ground on these issues because of that. And this is just the way it's going to be. And the best way to do it is what you guys are not doing. Look what I did with Greg. You immediately condemn it. You immediately do not approve. You take it away. When you start saying, well, Antifa and BLM and you're all of a sudden you lose it.
Damn it. But at the same time, you don't justify the President of the United States turning his back on the United States sovereignty and border. You don't. And this is what they're doing. They switched, they bait and switch. To me, the breach of the Capitol was awful. But to me, letting all these people in and drugs and everything else and totally disrespecting the sovereignty of our country is worse than the breach of the Capitol. Breach of our country.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, it's really ridiculous. And for Greg to sit there and say, what would you do with your house, Brian, if people stormed into your house? Well, let me say this, Brian. If you I would storm into your house if you had like 200 dogs in there that were emaciated, that you weren't feeding. In other words, there were 6...
All right, okay, that's what I'm talking... All right, Richie, thanks for the call. No. There's no situation to justify that, and you need to be clear about that. I'm really glad Greg 2 called, I'll take one more call, then I'm going to break and get back on topic. But the reason I took the calls then is because I knew when I took the calls what they were going to do. See, this is what you've got to learn to deal with. Anytime a leftist brings up the Capitol breach, condemn it. It should be condemned, and condemn it and move on. Take it away from them. Don't let them attach that to us. Listen, we got 75, 80 million MAGA people. 500-600 went into the building. I'm not going to let 500 or 600 people, what they did, define President Trump and define me and the MAGA movement. Okay? I'll take one more call, Greg 2, and then we'll break and get back on track. Good morning. Hey, Doug.
I get to talk about something a little bit different. Did you come up with the idea that this whistleblower for the the media was your idea, or did you get that from somebody else?
What, the Facebook whistleblower? No, I knew right away. As soon as I heard about her, I knew about it. Yeah, I didn't get that from... I know everybody's saying it now, but I thought it was obvious as soon as I heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, very good, because I see a lot of other people saying the same thing, that she's working as a Trojan horse to make it. So you're right on the money.
The Facebook whistleblower is working with Facebook.
I'm sorry, I understand.
She is working with Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. She's working with Facebook. Other people are agreeing with you, so I guess you were right on the money there. Very, very intuitive of you, but very smart. Anyhow, the other thing is, I know you don't have One American News. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on. It was very interesting. She spent her own money to make a commercial saying how to get the Republicans not to vote for this $3 trillion waste of money. And she supposedly has convinced a lot of Republicans to stay.
Yeah, but not enough. We got a long list of traitor Republicans out there. You know, listen, this $3.5 trillion bill is just to pay off the donors. That's the only purpose of it, is to pay off the donors. It's not about anything else but that. And the ones that are standing firm on it, their donors are ringing their phones nonstop.
How much do you have to get? $3 trillion. People don't. I don't think people understand what a trillion is. $1,000 billion is a trillion.
It's a number that's so large the human mind cannot conceive of it.
Nobody really understands it. And
no.
How much do they don't have to?
Even $1 billion, you cannot visualize, and the human mind cannot visualize $1 billion.
That's unbelievable. The amount of money that is, and they're just wasting our money. Already they just gave $480 billion more to raise the debt ceiling. I mean, we're putting this debt on top of debt on top of debt, and my kids will be paying this off, and their kids will be paying it.
Oh, no, it doesn't cost anything. It's paid for. It doesn't cost anything, they said. All right, Doug, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Andrea, what's up? I got a bad connection. I'm having a hard time hearing you. So you got a little muffled.
Is that better?
That's better.
I'm not shocked that Mitch McConnell came at all, because he's one of those spineless Republicans that should just be a Democrat. And Trump was right. Trump called him out in the very beginning. Trump said he's the wrong man for the job, and he just keeps proving it over and over again. So my hope is he's primaried out. My hope is all of these people are primaried out.
Well, you know, I was talking. Steve and I last night were talking about Manchin. Manchin looked very strange yesterday. They've gotten to Manchin. He doesn't look as smug as he was doing on the back of the yacht the other day with the kayaking liberals yelling at him. And, you know, I think they got to Manchin. I don't know what they did, you know, that manila envelope with a girlfriend or something. I don't know. But we're losing him. And you notice they don't have any, cinema doesn't look that way, because you're not going to find, you know, scandal like that with a woman typically. So, you know, Manchin looks like he's lost. Just the look on his face yesterday just looks like they got to him, to me.
Did you see the video of, because Chuck Schumer is just a flat out disgrace. Did you see the video of Manchin behind Chuck Schumer, like holding his head?
Yes, yeah. And when we walked out, he had to go to the men's room to vomit or something. Yeah, I saw that.
Right. You know why? Because they all know this is going to bankrupt the country.
They don't care. You know, these guys, all of them are rich. I don't know what the hell any of them did for a living, but they're all millionaires, and they'll be fine. The country will be bankrupt, but they'll be fine. They'll be very wealthy.
Well, they'll be fine. In socialist societies, it's never the politicians or their highfalutin friends that suffer. It's the people that suffer. Yes. Right now, currently in the U.S., the dollar used to be based on silver,
gold, yep,
based on petrol.
Mm-hmm.
And go to the Green New Deal, the dollar value will be Nothing.
Well, remember, it was a Republican who took us off the gold standard, Richard Nixon.
So just, people like you climate change people, get ready. Because if they institute the Green New Deal, your savings, your retirement, it's going to be worth nothing.
They don't care.
They don't care because socialists never suffer the consequences of their policies. But I'm going to move on for a second because I just heard your call with
Greg too.
Greg
too.
You know what I noticed about Greg? Greg has a problem with context. And what I mean by that is this. So on Monday, he was all for people getting up in public official spaces. On the other day, he was all for people being coerced into taking a vaccine in order...
You're talking about the first reference is Cinema being confronted in the toilet, the ladies' room.
All about that. You can confront people on a plane. Why can't you confront people on a plane? Right?
Yeah.
She didn't take the vax, which is crime against humanity, denying somebody medical treatment.
Yeah.
And today, he's saying to you about January 6th, what if somebody came into your house? What if somebody came into your house? The context is a private residence versus a public building. The Capitol is called the People's House because it is the people.
It does. Yeah, so is the White House. You can't just walk into a public building because it's public, like a house like that. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way, Andrea. You can't just walk into public buildings. No. Hey, listen, I'm 7 minutes late for the break, but I appreciate the call, Andrea. All right, we'll take our break 7 minutes late for the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Lori. Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care.
Steve Kane Show.
I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for
hold
around
on.
3 years.
Steve Kane Show.
He always
Hold
has
on.
time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for www.
Hey guys, welcome back. 39 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. I hope you all have had an opportunity to check out our new SteveKaneShow.com website that I built with the help of the web builder. And I think it looks pretty good. It's not completely finished yet, but I think it looks pretty darn good. So go and check that out. SteveKaneShow.com, same web address, just a brand new website for you. I was just looking, unrelated, then we'll get into the news. This was not in Florida, but South Carolina. You may have seen, it's something I've never seen before, an alligator eating another alligator. You know, I've been around alligators most of my life living in Florida, and I've been in some pretty scary situations with alligators. And even when I was in Florida, we don't call them alligators, we call them gators. And even when I was a kid, I've been gator hunting. And if you follow me on YouTube, I made a YouTube video when I went to Kennedy Space Center, which you guys should look at. It's a great vlog I did traveling to the Kennedy Space Center. On my YouTube channel, I stopped and had lunch at a restaurant up there on the Space Coast, and I had for lunch gator tail, which tastes like reptilian chicken. It's not the best, but it's all right. It's best blackened, in my opinion. But watching a gator eat another gator, I've never seen that before, and that tells me, watch out, the gators are hungry, and stay the hell away from them. Oh my gosh. But you know, people don't, it's not often that people get attacked by alligators. Most people, there are exceptions to this. There was a kid who was eaten by an alligator at Walt Disney World a few years ago. But what most people, they get attacked by, I've never known anyone personally attacked by a gator, and I've been right next to alligators in very small boats, and I was out in a canoe once, and there was an alligator that came up next to the canoe that was longer than the canoe I was in. That was pretty scary. But I've never known anyone personally to get in trouble with a gator, because most Floridians are smart. Most of the people that get killed by alligators, they're dog walkers, and they're walking their dog in their neighborhood, and they have a lake behind their house or a lake in the neighborhood, and gators leave you alone unless you get confrontational with them. And what happens is the dogs, usually the little yelpy dogs, the dogs start going nuts when they see the gator and get in the gator's face. The gator grabs the dog, and the owner tries to rescue the dog, and then they get killed. And what the alligators do, they don't just eat you. They don't eat you. They drown you, okay? And what they do is the alligators, typically what they do to you is they drown you, and then they put you under something. They'll find a rock in the water to put you under so that your body gets softened up and makes it easier to chew. But people all the time that are not from Florida, oh no, you got the alligators down there. They're dangerous. Nah. You just, sad reality is, if you're walking your dog and a gator grabs your dog, I love my dog, but you got to let the dog go. Then you'll be okay. Yeah, and while they're drowning the dog, you'll have time to escape. And there's also, I remember one thing they used to teach us when I was a kid in Florida. In school, they would tell us this: alligators in a straight line, can outrun a human. So what you're supposed to do is zigzag. You're supposed to run in a zigzag. I don't know about that, but that's what they say. All right, now. Oh my goodness, I am so late on my break. Steve's going to kill me. Well, not literally, figuratively. But I'm almost up against another break. So I apologize for the short segment, guys. But there's been another hate hoax exposed. This is in the Western Journal. And the Western Journal, westernjournal.com is the website. westernjournal.com. It's a very good conservative news site. westernjournal.com. You'll find it. Listen to this. A racist social media post advertising a fraternity party sparked outrage at a North Carolina university and death threats against the white students supposedly behind it. Now it appears the racist post was a hoax carried out by a black student from another fraternity. The message first appeared on the anonymous social media site Yik Yak. I've never heard of Yik Yak. Have you heard of Yik Yak? I got another one. And promoted a Theta, is it CHI? Is that Chi or Chi? Like Chia Pet? Party with the stipulation, quote, no blacks. According to WITN television, the name and number of Theta Chi member Austin Hunter were included in the post. My name and number, Hunter says, were posted in the college newspaper. I was being harassed with calls and text, even received death threats. Although Yik Yak allows posters to remain anonymous, it logs detailed information about who is using its service and how. The police department investigation quickly landed on James Edwards, a member of the rival Phi Lambda Phi fraternity, which I guess is a black fraternity. I don't know why someone who's black would want to be in a racially segregated fraternity, but whatever. According to the Greenville Daily Reflector, Edwards was booked October 1st on a charge of cyberstalking. Kristen Hunter, a spokesperson for the police, had a message for anyone looking to use anonymous apps for similar ends. You will leave a digital footprint and be caught. So fake racism, and these are very common, these hate hoaxes. We've been talking about them for as long as I've been doing this, and what you find most often, hate hoaxes, almost every racial incident that you hear about in the news is a hate hoax. First one I really remember, this goes back to the years that Bill Clinton was president. There was a epidemic going on, and it was on the cover of USA Today, and there was nationwide churches, black churches being burned. Remember those stories? Oh yeah. The racists were going coast to coast, burning down black churches. Bill Clinton, he was president. He gave a speech. I want to say it was at the National Urban League, but it could have been the NAACP. It was either the NAACP or the Urban League, and he gave a speech, and in front of his podium was a piece of charred wood, a 2x4, that supposedly was from one of the churches. I don't buy that. I think they went over to the Home Depot and, got some cigarette lighters out and burned it. But it came out that there were not racist arsonists burning down these churches. Some of them were definitely burned down by arson, but they were burned down by the ministers to get the insurance money so they could build a new church. One of them was struck by lightning. Some of them were old and not maintained, and there were electrical fires in some of them. There was no racist white people traveling around burning down black churches. And there's many incidents like this. There was another high-profile incident. There was a black female professor at New York University, and she came back to her class and found a noose on her doorknob, and she reported it. She had a book out at the time, and turned out it was a publicity stunt. The New York City Police Department have a hate crime investigative unit that rivals the FBI, and they investigated it and found out the black college professor tied the noose and put it on her doorknob herself. And these things go on and on and on and on. There was incident locally Steve and I exposed on this show many years ago. There was a noose found hanging from a table at in a cafeteria, an outdoor cafeteria at a local school in Broward County. And it was in the newspaper and everything else. Oh, hey, noose, And what we found out was it was an outdoor table where they had these umbrellas where they had like rope tying them, and it was raining, and a student tied a knot using a bow tie, like you tie your shoes, because that's the only knot they knew, and one of the loops on the was hanging down. There were two loops, one was hanging down, and then, oh, it's a noose, and then boom, it's in the newspapers, and it happens. Most of these stories are hoaxes, okay? That's just the way it is. And when they get busted, I hear a phone ringing, like an old-style phone ring. Was this the 1800s, 1970s calling? Most of these hate hoaxers, when they get busted, they'll talk about it and say, well, yeah, it was fake, but it's representative of what's out there, so it makes it okay to do it. So, these hate hoaxes, it's really a tragedy. It truly is. And I had many other examples, but I was late on the last break. I'm late on this one already, so I'm going to try to get us back on schedule. My name is Brian Craig. Oh, yes, I forgot Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace, yeah. He found a noose in the garage. Turned out it wasn't a noose. Yeah, Bubba Wallace. And he knew it. Couldn't win a damn race. He did win a race finally. Did he just win a race finally? All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Flow Ride is the longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day.
Be right back, guys.
And that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week. And we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation. And she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew, were very, very polite. And they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts, extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed. And my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new duct. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex duct, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less than what I thought.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself, because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Call I Will Advisors for a free review of your existing health care policy and learn about all of your Medicare options. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Oh man, was it hot yesterday? Oh my goodness! Yesterday afternoon I left the house, went out to the store. It was so hot when I walked out of my house. Listen, both Scott from Cut My Kilowatts and Debbie from I Will Advisors with the Medicare, both of them, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, they can help you. So no matter where you are in Florida, talk to Scott over at Cut My Kilowatts and talk to him about that radiant barrier. Lower your electric bill, cool off your attic, cool off your home. His number, 954-939-1500. No matter where you are in Florida, give him a call, 954-939-1500. Same goes with Debbie with I Will Advisors. as we approach Medicare open enrollment. No matter where you are in Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West, Debbie can help you with your Medicare, okay? 954-753-8080. Okay, this is a news story, oh boy. An army of 60,000 illegal aliens, mostly Haitian, are expected to flood the U.S. border in the coming weeks as a second caravan is on its way. And, I talk about this sometimes when we're talking about these caravans. Okay, now yesterday, when I went out to the store, it was in the 90s yesterday, and I came home, first thing I did was grab my water and had a big old swig of this. What is never discussed in the media about these caravans is what goes into it. They have so many military people, okay? Oh, by the way, Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta can help you. He works all over the state of Florida, by the way. Tom Laporta with Laporta Contracting, who just did Steve's roof. So no matter where you are in the state of Florida, Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting can help you too. So give him a call as well. I'll give his number out too. And his number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. Tom Laporta throughout the state of Florida. What they have all these on Fox, they have all these military experts on all the time. All right? Retired general, retired lieutenant colonel, all this stuff. What is involved in moving 60,000 people? Look at the chaos at the Kabul airport. How do you move a caravan of 60,000 people during the hottest time of the year through a desert? And these are men, women, and children of all ages. You need a complete supply chain. How big was Santa Anna's army back in the day? I don't know. You move a group of people that large, especially children, civilians with children, okay? You need food and water. And I see them when they get up to the border and they're crossing the Rio Grande. Do any of them look like they've missed a meal? Do they look dehydrated? Do they even look dirty? There is an entire highly organized and well-financed infrastructure that takes these and I know people say, oh, coyotes. This isn't just coyotes, a couple guys in a truck. This is something that cost a lot of money. I can't put a dollar sign on it. I don't know. But you need an infrastructure that you and I would not be able to organize for a group of 60,000 moving across multiple countries, moving across deserts in the hottest time of the year. All right? So, and these are the kind of stories that the media never get into. And that's the stories because the reason that story is important is who is financing it, who is organizing it. And it's not just George Soros. I'm telling you, it's because the only people that know how to move. There are two types of people. There are two different types of people that have the ability to move a group of 60,000 civilians across thousands of miles in through desert terrain and heat. One are military people that have a specialty in supply chains. That's one. So somebody, and the other one is the Chinese, because the Chinese, with their slave factories, I can't remember the name of the holiday. If somebody knows, remind me, but there's a special holiday where everybody gets off work and they go back home, and they have the largest migration of people in history every year when this happens, when people go back home, and they have a system in China. But somebody that is organizing these caravans down there are former military people doing this. Now, they don't have to be U.S. military. They could be of, many countries. But there are military people organizing the supply chain along the way because it takes that type of experience and skill set to do it. So, it's an important story because this is how you find out who really is behind it. Okay? Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Brian, are you all right this morning? You're all over the place, man.
What do you mean, am I all right?
You're all over the place. You get the same 6 people calling you every single day. It doesn't challenge your mind, and you become as dim as they do. Don't you realize that?
Oh, that's interesting. So, by the way, thank you for being such a loyal listener that you listen so closely to every moment of the show every day. And I always like to give my respects to our most loyal, addicted listeners.
For the comedy factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comedy show, like I said.
Oh, that's interesting. There are 41 other radio stations on the dial here in South Florida, and I'm the most entertaining. That's thank you so much. So I'm the number one most 41 radio stations on the air, and this one 42 radio stations, and I'm the most entertaining guy on the radio dial. Oh my gosh, Steve needs to give me a raise.
All of them.
Oh, really? You listen to 42 radio shows every day, but you know what happens on this one all 3 hours.
A favor.
No, you just did me a favor. You just did me a favor. Out of 42 radio stations, I am the most entertaining morning show in the South Florida radio market. What a compliment that is. Thank you. Thank you.
Take a deep breath. You get worked up for no reason when you talk.
No, I'm excited. I'm number one, baby, in your mind, and you think you hate me.
Again, but I'm just calling to help you out.
What are you saying? Talking to you is a waste of time? Well, I can't disagree with that.
You're a YouTuber. You're on YouTube all the time. Now, have you ever heard of Zeitgeist Denim?
No. What, is this some liberal jerk you're trying to do PR with? Commercials cost money on this show. People pay. No free commercials. No free commercials. These commercials are paid for on this program. Try to get in free commercials. Well, I'm gonna talk to Steve today because if I am the most, there are guys doing FM morning shows in this market that he says I'm more entertaining than. And they're paid a lot more than I'm paid. I need a raise because I am the most entertaining morning show in the South Florida radio market, and this is a major market. That's amazing. Thank you, Al in Coral Springs, for that. And when I these jerks. All right. Let's take our break. All right, it's 2 minutes after 8. You are listening to the most entertaining radio show in the South Florida radio market, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Third hour begins now.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for
Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Yeah, hold on.
Brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net. Hi, Brian Craig here. You've heard Dr. Mitch Matez and Steve Kane's wife Lori talk about their COVID testing at Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. I've been tested too. So has Steve Kane and his son Tyler. Today on the radio, Rabbi David called in. He felt that he was getting sick and wanted to be tested for coronavirus. So he went to Any Lab Test Now of Boca. Go to Rabbi David. Hey, Rabbi.
By the way, you might hear congestion in my voice. I actually had a lot of congestion. I felt a little sick, and of course, I get nervous that, is it COVID or not? My wife also. So guess what we did? I listened to you. I went down to Any Lab Test Now yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. Went right in there. They put a little tiny thing, you didn't even feel it in my finger. Literally 10 minutes later, not a second more, they came back and said, you're fine, negative, great. We went on our way, and we just, not even worried. So
that $69 price is just for Steve Kane Show listeners. You got to mention that, and it's that little finger test. You get it real quick. I'll tell you, anytime somebody has any type of congestion, all of a sudden there's anxiety. Steve Kane Show. Not just for them, but everybody around them. Hey, turn off the noise in the background. Okay, no.
You know what I mean? Instead of dealing with all the wonder. And they give you a piece of paper. So yesterday, I actually walked around with it. When people heard, you don't sound so good, I take out that piece of paper. I said I was tested right here, and I pick up the piece of paper and showed it to them. It says negative. And
Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Coral Springs, they're good people, and we're very lucky to have them.
They're very caring and full of information.
First, we had a doctor recommendation from Dr. Mitch Matez. Now we have a rabbi. Rabbi recommended Any Lab Test Now of Boca, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for your COVID testing. Yeah, that's great. Rabbi recommended Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Rabbi recommended by Rabbi David for COVID testing. Rapid coronavirus testing, just $69. But you have to mention you heard them on the radio. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is. Their number, 561-237-5009. Make sure you mention you heard them on the radio.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution
you're
of
second in
assets
line.
at the
Hold
time
on.
of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here...
All right, third and final hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Steve will be back with us on Mondays, off today. And Steve missed out because today on the Steve Kane Show, was just named by Al in Coral Springs the most entertaining morning show in the South Florida radio market. This is a major market, over 40 stations on the dial, and we're the most entertaining. This is we got to redo our whole rejoins and hourly opens and everything. The longest running radio show in Florida and the most entertaining. Longest running and most entertaining. Oh, man. We got to get the voiceover guy working on that over the weekend. All right. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Hey, I just heard the last call, and you are right. You are the most entertaining channel or radio show out of all of them.
Yes.
Owes you a raise.
Yes.
Say that.
Yeah.
Good job handling that guy on that call. But
well, I learned from the best. That's Steve. How do you think I learned how to deal with these calls? You should have heard me when I first started with Steve. These callers would have me for, oh man, it was embarrassing.
Well, you definitely got it down, and you handled him just like I've seen you or watched you or heard you handle it. Good job.
All right, take care, man. Now we're going to go, our next caller, this is great. This is a wonderful day. We're going to talk right now to one of our most moral people in this audience, because they live a life that even that priests struggle with. Our next caller lives a life of celibacy. which is amazing. Liberal Al the John, good morning.
Good morning. That was a good call. You did turn that around.
Yes.
Turn around. Andrea's call once in a while like that. That was good.
Notice he didn't deny the celibacy.
Celibacy.
Yeah, well, you're celibate.
I'm not celibate.
Oh, really?
No.
Not by choice, but I think it's fair. It's more accurate to say you're not celibate by choice. It's just the women of our community have decided that you're going to live a life of celibacy. I think that's more accurate.
You're taking a poll amongst the women of this community.
No, but I know you. I know you. Anyway, what's on your mind? Why'd you call today?
The insurrection movement is getting more and more interesting. You got that Ali Alexander. When he testifies before Congress.
Wait, what was this? What are you talking about? Start over again. I missed what you said.
Ali Alexander is going to be testifying before Congress. In the event you don't know who he is.
No idea.
Okay, he's the head of the Stop the Steal movement.
What's he going to testify to? Oh, a bunch of other people whose names I don't know. When's the part where Donald Trump's going to jail? Donald Trump is going to jail the day after Al gets a girlfriend. Good morning. That means never. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. How are we doing today?
All right, Wisconsin Gary, what's up?
You know, I'm going to bring back a little bit of history. The reason how I came across you is because, I salvaged the YouTube a lot for a lot of news and everything else. And believe it or not, when I came across you, I was like, Brian Craig, and it's like, well, let's listen to see what he's got to say, And I'd have to really say, and with that one caller that said you were the best listening in Florida, I'd have to agree, because otherwise, I don't know how many months I've been listening to you, but it's been a really long time. So, it's like I never miss out on any.
Well, that's appreciated, Gary.
It's like with my job, I don't always get to listen to you, from the start to finish. So coming back to your podcast, broadcast, is a great thing, and it's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
Callers that come in there that might be liberal, Al, and Greg, too, we might not always disagree with, but, the broadcast and the podcast that you provide is probably one of the greatest things, and it's probably one of the reasons why you're number 3, on your podcast.
Well, my podcast, the Brian Craig Show podcast, since I'm pumping my ego up today, the Brian Craig Show podcast that I co-host with my wife was named the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America. Number 1 was Mark Levin, number 2 was The Blaze, Glenn Beck, and number 3, the most must listen to podcast in America, conservative podcast, is mine.
Everything right. Just keep it up, the good work, and
absolutely,
and everything else. So I figured I'd throw that in there today. So
yeah, I appreciate it. Well, Gary, any more of this sucking up, and Steve's going to decide not to take the day off and snap me back on the planet Earth. But no, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Thanks so much, Gary. Hey, have a great weekend. All right, take care. Okay, now I just saw this story this morning out of Texas. A day after a federal judge blocked Texas' new abortion law, at least one provider in Texas said it had resumed abortion services on Thursday for patients seeking to terminate pregnancy beyond the law's limit of 6 weeks. Amy Hagstrom Miller, chief executive of Whole Women's Health, told reporters that since the law went into effect September 1st, the provider with 4 clinics in Texas has put patients on a waiting list if their pregnancies had advanced beyond the legal limit. So those folks were able to come in. We did provide them with abortion care today, she said. She did not say which clinics had resumed services or how many abortions they provided. Don't you wish that the liberals worked so hard to open up all the other businesses of America when people were out of work? Don't you? Don't you? As they do the abortion clinics in Texas. I just want to say this, because then I got to, before the break, we only have a short time before the break. I am in favor of that Texas restriction law that they have out there. I'm very strongly pro-life. as is Steve. And Steve was a pro-life activist even when he was younger and was a liberal. And for those that are new to the program, I know a lot of you know this year's talk. My daughter is adopted, my only child. My mother is adopted. Steve has 7 children. 6 of Steve's 7 children are adopted. Steve has, of his adopted children, he has 1 daughter who is black and 2 sons who are black, and my daughter is black. And we are very strongly pro-life on this program, and we don't talk about it as much as we used to because it's kind of an issue that's faded away, and now it's back because of Texas. And I do support that Texas law very much so, but what I often really wish that the pro-life activist would do is get very much more involved with promoting adoption. And adoption in this country, there's so many stigmas attached to it. I mean, because it's not properly promoted. And it's more productive to be positive and for something than against something. If there was a mass marketing campaign promoting adoption, it would help reduce the number of abortions. People don't understand it. A lot of people think it's expensive or it's too expensive. None of that is true. It can be, but it's not. And a lot of stigma, a lot of men. Oh, I can't raise a child that's not of my seed. If you got that kind of attitude, what woman wants your seed connected to them? I wouldn't if I were a woman and a guy had that kind of attitude. But if the pro-life movement would spend half of their efforts on adoption, you would find that the number of abortions would slow down and change and eventually fade away. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. And the pro-life people are good people and have a good cause, but they just don't. There are pro-life groups that are involved in adoption, but it's not really. When have you ever seen a marketing campaign on television about that? No. Barbara Walters used to really annoy the hell out of me on The View. Her daughter's adopted, and she never said her daughter. She always said, my adopted daughter. You never hear me say my adopted daughter. My daughter. I don't think of her as I tell you when I'm talking about it that she is adopted, so to promote adoption, in particular interracial adoption, but it used to really bug me. Like every time she would say, Barbara Walters, my adopted daughter, she would pause and wait for applause. Yeah, you're such a hero. What a jerk she is. But that's, the pro-life movement can be much more effective if they focused in on that. All right, let's take a quick call and then we'll break. Good morning. Oh, Attorney Barry Siegel. I thought that was you. That's why I took it before the break. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group is on the line. Good morning, Barry. How are you?
Doing well. Happy Friday to everyone. And we have our workshop coming up. Actually, our 2 workshops coming up on October 26th. That's a Tuesday. Living Trust at 10 a.m. And that, of course, is going to cover everything to do with living trust and probate avoidance and all the other important documents that go along with an overall estate plan. The importance of powers of attorney that are important not just for estate planning, but also for Medicaid planning, preserving your assets, healthcare documents, the differences between living wills and healthcare surrogates and HIPAA authorizations. And in the afternoon, we're going to cover Medicaid, which is really super important because there's so many misconceptions out there. People don't understand that many people who feel that they cannot qualify for Medicaid and thus protect their assets can actually get it. They actually may not have too much money. They may be able to deal with that 5-year look-back period and not have to wait the 5 years to qualify. There's a lot of great information. Now,
the Medicaid planning workshop, the afternoon workshop that you're doing, Barry, people think that, wrongly, that Medicaid is for very poor people that own nothing, and that's not the case. And people can be homeowners, but you've got to call Attorney Barry Siegel. At the Siegel Law Group, you have an entire staff of people that are experts in this Medicaid planning, right, Barry?
For 20 years, we've been helping people qualify for Medicaid, even if they have too much in assets, too much in income, and we still are able to get them qualified. And an opportunity for people to protect their assets, and they don't realize that they could do this.
Yeah, and the Medicaid can help cover nursing home care, at-home care, and there's nothing more tragic than a spouse gets sick, needs home care or nursing home care, and the surviving spouse is left broke and bankrupt, and maybe even selling the house to pay for it. That when they could call Attorney Barry Siegel and take care of everything. Listen, these workshops are free, but reservations are required, and they do fill up, these workshops. So call the Siegel Law Group and just let them know you're coming, and they'll give you detailed directions on how to get there when you do that. Here's the number for the Siegel Law Group: 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week. All right, take care. We'll be right back after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75.
Wesley, thank you for that super chat earlier. Thank you so much.
Per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Steve will be back with us on Monday, which is Columbus Day, and we will be here. I tell you, Columbus Day. All these liberals, they hate Columbus, but they sure don't mind the day off in his name, do they? Banks close, schools close, everything else, all these liberals. Columbus is an evil man, but then they take off on Columbus Day. I tell you. Now, I started the show at 6 explaining something, and I want to recap it because I think this is a very, very important story. We're in crisis right now. America we're in crisis. And the story involves this fake White House television set that Biden's using. And the first time I saw it is when Biden got his booster. I guess was that a couple weeks ago? Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? And it was very strange to me, and I assumed that it was still in the White House, that they had built a set in the East Room at the White House for one reason or another. I didn't understand why. It was very weird. It was very strange, and they certainly were implying they were at the White House. And then it was confirmed that Biden had this White House television set is in a building across the street from the White House. And people have been wondering, why are they doing it? Why are they doing this? And Ari Fleischer was on with Harris Faulkner yesterday on Fox. And Ari Fleischer talked about this and what this is all about. He said they can't do this in the White House because of the rooms aren't built for it and they're too small. They don't have it set up. This is a professional television set that has been built, this fake White House. And you would think they could get a better fake White House set than this because it looks too fake. But anyway, Ari Fleischer said the reason they're doing this is because they can have a teleprompter on the camera lens that Biden can read while he's looking directly at the lens, and no one can see the teleprompter. And not only can they not see the teleprompter, they can't see what's on the teleprompter. He said the way things are configured at the White House, those press briefing rooms and everything are tiny. The White House is tiny. The rooms are tiny. That if they do this at the White House, not only can the teleprompters be seen, but somebody can snap a picture of what's being said, what he's reading on the teleprompter. You know, you've seen this before. And Harris Faulkner, she says, well, I don't understand. She says, we use teleprompters here at Fox. People know we're using teleprompters. And she says, I've seen teleprompters with presidents before, and I think it's good for people to have a behind-the-scenes look. And Ari Fleischer said that they're trying to show that he is mentally fit. So they're hiding them because they want people to think that he can see and hear and answer and respond and be fine. And they're trying to make him look more with it mentally than he is. And then I'm gonna throw something into what the very smart Ari Fleischer said, because I remember this was going on, and I think they're doing this with Joe Biden. When Obama first became president, they discussed, and I think they did this, they were discussing it, and this goes way back to when Robert Gibbs was Obama's first White House press spokesperson. He was the campaign spokesperson and was the White House spokesperson for a while. What happened to Robert Gibbs? I don't see him as a pundit. I think he'd be on TV more. But anyway, they were talking about installing monitors in the podium of the White House press briefing room so that when Obama was speaking and taking questions, they could type answers to him on the monitors where no one could see inside the podium. And they didn't think Obama could come up with answers fast enough because he just didn't have enough experience or knowledge about what was going on. I think that not only, obviously presidents use teleprompters, but I think what they're doing is giving him the answers when there's questions being asked of him. I think he's being fed answers in the teleprompter too. And that's what they're hiding from you, that he's being given answers when he's dealing with interactions with either journalists, people that are in the cabinet up there with him, or they take questions from citizens and others sometimes. I think he's being given the answers on that teleprompter, and that's what they're hiding from us. They don't want us to see that, because the question is, first question is, who's giving him the answers? Doesn't he have the answers? He's the president. Who would be giving, who is giving the president of the United States answers? And then who are they, right? I mean, is somebody giving them the answers? Is somebody telling them what to say as they're transcribing? These are things, that's what they're hiding. And they can't do it in the White House. They have to do it with these specialty, the different camera angles on a professional television set, and that's what they're doing. And that's really scary because that shows that he is really out of it. He's more out of it than we realize. And I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on online. A lot of those conspiracy theories online about the White House set are not coming from MAGA people. Those are liberals who are putting these ridiculous stories on the internet to try to discount it and try to get away from the real story, that he's not physically fit enough to answer questions on the fly oftentimes, and he's being fed answers. All right? So these crazy conspiracy theories that they claim are MAGA, okay, on the internet, I promise you, those are coming from liberals that are trying to misdirect all of us. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name?
Bob from Pompano.
Hey, Bob.
Make a very, very excellent point about this being organized, these people coming over here.
Are you talking about the caravans?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be organized big time, and I think China's behind it. There's something else came to mind, too, in line with this. They're having something they call it the shielding approach to prevent COVID-19.
Mm. Where? In China? The United States. I've not heard this.
In one of these around town newspapers, it says CDC wants to set up internment camps for big.
Oh, okay.
Internment camps to protect them, and it smells.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll look. If I see it online, I'll talk about it. I have to see it for myself.
By the way, I know, and they said there's not that many Haitians in Haiti to come over like that, and
well, they claim that a lot of Haitians relocated to Brazil after the earthquake years ago, and I've never heard that before. I guess it's true. I mean, to bring this many people would be a fleet of ships to transport this many people from Haiti.
Haitian people are very, very good people. They really violent.
Really? What about the ones that were hijacking the customs bus in Texas? Those are good people?
They're not the best people, but I'm just saying they don't have the money to buy a bicycle sometimes and to come over through international waters and set themselves up and move from country to country. This whole thing is set up, and I'm really afraid that something, the end product of this, that when they come over, what is the plan? Where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
Well, Tucker Carlson talks about it a lot. He calls it the Great Replacement. They're trying to make the country less white.
It might be more sinister than that. These people might just want to destroy the country, too. They might all be totally anti-American.
The Democrats believe that white middle-class people, we don't know what's best for ourselves. We vote and support people against our best interest, Republicans, and they view that what stops them from having complete power is there's too many white people. That's why they're doing a lot of relocations, and like Wyoming is getting a huge influx of Afghan refugees. They're trying to make Wyoming less. And I don't like talking about it because it sounds, it can be taken as sounding racist. And I mean I'm an interracial family. I'm not that. You guys know that. But that's what the Democrat. I'm talking about how the Democrats view white people as stopping their complete control over the country. And they figure if they make it less white, and I got news for you, blacks and Hispanics in this country don't get along. Chicago, the main problem in Chicago, beyond the black-on-black crime, a big part of the gang problem in Chicago is black versus Latino gangs. And blacks and Latinos do not get along. They do not get along in this country historically throughout it.
I really believe this whole migration thing is a Chinese plot to destroy our country, to infiltrate with people that are very needy. I mean, apparently that's what it is. Like this adoption thing you're talking about. I'm all for adoptions, by the way. My wife was a social worker, what they call adoption subsidies. Actually give you money for not pay you, but it costs money to take 6 kids, and like Steve did, and like you did. And what they do is some kids they give money for, especially if they're disabled or whatever. But I really think that it's a situation which has to be addressed. I mean, you're 100% correct. I mean, it's murder if you ask me.
Yeah. The thing about abortion, and I guess I'm wrong in this, or maybe I am, but I don't think surgical abortions like we're talking about in clinics are all that common anymore. I think abortion clinics kind of have gone the way of Blockbuster Videos because they have those abortion pills now that are over the counter at the drugstore. I don't even think, I don't know, but I don't think you need a prescription. I could be wrong. And I would think that would take away a lot of the, surgical abortion business. And I'm not saying that that's not an abortion. Don't misunderstand me. I know the church conception. I'm not saying that. But, the surgical abortion seems to be kind of like, it's gone away, I thought. And I didn't realize how big it still was.
Right.
But, yeah. Yeah, well, great. I appreciate it. Hey, listen, man, have a great weekend. And we got to take our break. 33 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is 35 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. And I got to tell you about this incredible deal from the Thomas Edison of sleep himself, Mr. Mike Lindell, the inventor of the My Pillow, and of course, strong MAGA man and defender of President Trump. This incredible special, I've been telling you guys about it all week, and this special will disappear and disappear without notice, okay? And that, of course, is the My Pillow mattress topper special I've been telling you about. 50% off the My Pillow mattress topper when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. You go to mypillow.com and click on the television specials. The television specials, you heard me correct. Go to the television specials and you will see 50% off the My Pillow mattress topper. But you've got to use our promo code, K-A-N-E, at checkout. And let me tell you, this My Pillow mattress topper is a life-changing thing. It really, truly is. I got mine in April. I've been sleeping on it every night since. And it's what I was telling you guys. I wake up every morning well-rested when my alarm goes off, which is a miracle. Slept the whole night through well-rested. And I'm just at complete peace, comfort, relaxation, and rest when I wake up in the morning. It is life-changing. The My Pillow mattress topper will change your life. If you have been putting off getting one, this is the time to do it. This 50% off offer will not last forever. And every size mattress, too, from twin all the way up to king and California king and split king, too, and every size in between. If you've got a mattress, they've got a mattress topper to fit it at mypillow.com. Makes a great gift for Christmas. If you already have one, you know how much you love yours. It makes a great gift for Christmas. Comes in a great box. You wrap it up. They'll never guess what's inside. And when they open it up, they're going to thank you and remember that gift for years to come. I mean, think about it. How many gifts have you gotten for Christmas that you've forgotten about? What'd you get for Christmas last year? Do you remember? Probably not. The My Pillow mattress topper, whoever receives the gift from you will remember it for years to come. Made right here in the USA. And that's right. Comes with a 10-year warranty. The cover is removable and machine washable and dryable. So go to mypillow.com, click on the television specials. mypillow.com, click on the television specials, and get your My Pillow mattress topper with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, now, the gas prices are getting out of control. There's a story in Breitbart. The White House said Thursday they will not act immediately to alleviate high gas prices, citing the need to shift consumption to green energy, which means, of course, electric cars and crap like that. This is how out of touch the people in our government are, okay? I go to the gas station and I get gas, and when you do, I want you to do what I do when gas prices are high, and I take notice of this. It stands out in my mind. When you pull up to a gas pump, you can see the last sale. You know what I'm talking about? The last sale. Look at how much they spent, the person before you. Is it $5, $10, $12? When Trump was in office, it was always a fill-up. You could tell. Now, I'll pull up, I'll see $5, $8, $10, $11. And when you see that, that means they can't afford to fill up their tank. You can't afford to fill up their tank because gas is too high, inflation is hitting them. We've had this nationwide shutdown for so long, and Biden doesn't give a damn because he figures another however much it is to fill up a tank now, the extra $15 or $20, depending on the size of your vehicle, can be more to fill up your tank. Oh, that's nothing. He doesn't understand that $150, $200 a month is a lot of money to most working people. And you know what? Either does Pelosi. These people don't even buy their own gas, right? They're in government cars. And so far as green, I mentioned this to you guys a couple weeks ago. I was talking to someone who is a salesman, car salesman at BMW, and they were telling me they're getting a lot of Teslas traded in. And I thought that was strange. I said, why? And they said because they have to charge them up too much, and it takes too long to charge. They can't drive where they want to go. You know, especially in Florida where it's hot and you got the AC on and everything. You know what I mean? Electric cars are not practical, and you know what? They're expensive. People can't afford them. That's how out of touch they are. They don't understand that people cannot afford electric cars for the most part in this country. All right, 1-888-GO Kane 1-888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, did you catch President Trump was on Hannity last night, a call-in, and the one thing that God I miss him for, not the money, everything, but he would mandate the doing that. Would you mandate vaccines? He said no.
Well, here's the thing with that. Excuse me? Hold on. Hold on. You want me to hold on? I'm not even going to respond to what you said. Tell it to me. Good morning. You're on the radio.
This is my third time calling in. I love my geisha sheets. I just bought the cover for the bed, and oh my God, I had the best night's sleep last night. But the reason I'm calling is because I don't know if you knew, Castle Rock Productions did the inauguration for Joe Biden and his cabal.
Oh, the Hollywood? The Hollywood movie company?
Castle Rock Productions.
Oh, wow. That's something. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know who did the set that he's doing things on, but it's a very bad set. I mean, it looks too fake. They could... Yeah, and the fake windows out there and everything. I mean, Glenn Beck actually has a White House Oval Office replica set that he bought. It was used in the movie 13 Days with Kevin Costner. He bought it, and I don't know, does he do the show from the Oval Office over there? I don't know. And, the television sets I've seen of the White House look better than that one. It's a very, very poor replica. I've been to some presidential museums, and they always have the replica White House of that president's Oval Office, and they always look so real, but not that one across the street. It looks so fake. But did you hear why Ari Fleischer and Stephen Miller, by the way, says the same thing, who worked for President Trump, that he's doing this to hide his use of the teleprompter.
Is they had to take 2 retakes on that. The gloves on some women are changed.
Oh my goodness. They did 2 inaugurations for Obama. He screwed up the oath the first time. So the next day, Chief Justice John Roberts went to the White House and swore him in again, just to make sure, because he screwed up the oath on the first time.
The Supreme Court Justice.
Chief Justice, yeah.
Yes, he's on the flight list for guess who?
That's correct. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
A lot of pedophiles.
I guess so. I don't know who would fly on a Jeffrey Epstein flight. You know, Jeffrey Epstein went to Mar-a-Lago too. Right? They got a picture of the President Melania, and as soon as Donald Trump learned what Jeffrey Epstein was all about, he tossed him out of Mar-a-Lago and he was banned. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call, and I let me know how much when you get your MyPillow mattress topper. Sleep on it for a few nights, and then let me know how much you love it.
You hear me in the beginning. I said I love my geisha sheets using Kane, and I love my mattress topper using Kane. Big discount.
Absolutely.
And I already have the pillows, so I'm really happy. And I also have the pleasure of meeting Mike Lindell several times.
Oh, really? Where did you meet Mike Lindell at?
At Mar-a-Lago. I don't live too far from Southern Boulevard.
You were at Mar-a-Lago? Wow. Wow. You're connected.
I'm what they call a Trumpette.
Ah.
Started by Tony Holt Kramer.
I've heard of the Trumpettes. I've heard of that before, yes.
We had so much fun, but I still believe Dominion.
Okay, all right. Okay, take care. Good morning. Hey, Dave in California. What's up?
Hey, it's really taxing here.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you do stand-up, right?
Anyways, but comments on a couple of things that you talked about earlier today, or just today in general. Number one, it was my impression, and I could be wrong, but who was really responsible?
Well, yes, but I mean, she obviously isn't a cop, so she has, that's like saying, is Lori Lightfoot in charge of police work? She has a superintendent of police, and is Garcetti in charge of the LAPD? Maybe, but there's a chief. Yeah, the Capitol Police. I understand Garcetti, India. Garcetti, he's up to be ambassador to India.
And he's still in LA, though. It's totally hilarious. About the battery-powered cars, well, the Chevy Bolt, my cousin has one anyways, and they have to have a huge recall on the batteries. And what all those liberals and everybody else seems to forget about, even their commercials, they're going on, oh, this is like a zero-emission, hello. First of all, where do they think most of the electricity that somebody gets for those usually comes from something that still uses some fossil fuels, or nuclear, or whatever?
Exactly, and I read a story the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the last nuclear plant in California is closing down, which is completely clean energy. And what happens is the electricity to charge the charging stations of California's Tesla crowd are coal-fired plants. And of course those coal-fired plants are overworked because there's more electricity being demanded for these electric cars, which is more pollution. It's fake. It's just it's a false sense of something, a false sense of greenness.
You're exactly, and you're correct. The last one that's available nuclear that's operating in California is Diablo Canyon, which conveniently was built over a fault. Not a great.
Oh, that's just where I want to put my nuclear reactor, over a fault line. That's brilliant.
Oh, I think it came online in 78 or 80, something like that. It's up in San Luis Obispo, kind of. Not huge population.
Well, listen, I got to run for our last break. But you're a good caller. But call us again.
Have a great.
Well, thank you. I like that guy. He's funny. I said, "How's it going in California?" He said, "Taxing." Guy's got to be a a lot of entertainment people out there. All right, listen. We'll be back with the Gold Report after this.
Steve Kane Radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to Champagne Automotive, and I got to say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my
Hey there.
We took a car over there that was not being yet, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look
Oh
at it.
my
and
gosh.
I say that this man fixed the car, it's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back. It's 11 before 9. I'm Brian. Steve will be back on Monday, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca Raton with this morning's gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Great. How the metals looking?
Looking very strong. Yesterday we saw gold pull back a little bit, but still kind of staying in those trading ranges we've been in for quite a while. Gold trading in range yesterday from 1752 to 1768, and closing out the day at $1,755.20, which was down $8.20. Silver traded in a range of $22.35 to $22.90, and closed out the day at $22.58, which was down 5 cents. Platinum was down $6 at $9.76, and palladium was down up $73 at $1,901. This morning we finally break out of this trading range, and have gotten up to right now we're at $17.75.50. That's up $20.10 on gold.
Wow.
Silver 47 cents at $23.05 the ounce. Finally breaking through that $23 number again. And palladium or platinum up $44 at $1,020. And palladium up $104 at oil hanging around $79 a barrel. The dollar is lower today, and the markets are starting to price in what we're seeing, which is higher inflation.
Well, this is we began the week. It was Monday or Tuesday. You said that platinum was a good buy, and look at what it's done. I mean, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Now, can you tell people out there, there's, coming over to William Youngerman in person or ordering by phone, because you can buy from William Youngerman no matter where you are. Can you tell people, William Youngerman, the benefits of, even if they're out of town, buying the metals from you as opposed to some of these online places, these TV places I see all the time advertising?
Right. Well, I think you're going to pay a lot less money by buying them from us. You won't be aggravated by silver-tongued salesmen calling you up at 10 o'clock at night to try to sell you something else. And the market or the precious metals we have are in stock for immediate delivery. We've been in business for over 50 years, and we represent almost all the major mints. We can handle anything you want.
Yeah, and these guys on TV, they jack the prices up, don't they, on these metals?
Well, certainly somebody's got to pay for those advertising.
Yeah, that's right. So you'll pay less for it over at William Youngerman. And those of you that are not in South Florida and can't make it in and you're out of town, you can buy gold from and all the other metals from William Youngerman too in Boca. The number is 800-327-5010. 800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And if you want to stop in, they open weekdays at 10, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton, on the first floor of the Bank of America building immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend, and we'll talk on Columbus Day, Monday.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care. Wow, that's some great news in the metals. All right, well, listen, we just have a little bit of time left. If you want to call in, please do at 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631, a toll-free call. We've had, let me tell you, on here on Friday, we've had a great week of calls. We've had some really spectacular callers this week. And we've had a lot of new callers that bring an interesting perspective. And some of the regulars, our chronics that have called in, I've noticed our chronics have had some very good contributions to the program today. And this is one of the best weeks in call quality that we've had on the Steve Kane Show in quite some time. And thank you guys for that, because it makes it more interesting for me, makes it more interesting for our listeners, and we get a lot of good information. Good morning, you're on the radio. You're on the air. What's your name? What? Oh my gosh. You know, I got to tell you, that's just, here I am talking about the great quality of calls we've been receiving this week, and I go to the phones and I get that. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Yeah, you're on the air. You called me. You called me, so you have something to say.
I want to find out.
Well, what we're going to do, I'll tell you what I'm doing. You want to know what you can do? Well, right now we're suffering, but I'll tell you what I'm doing Saturday night, tomorrow night. You busy tomorrow night? I'm not. Well, good. Get in front of your TV. Get out the popcorn. There's a Trump rally tomorrow night. That's what you're going to do. And President Trump will tell us what the future holds. Let me tell you, I have been hearing that President Trump has been itching to announce his run for 2024. And it could happen. Is tomorrow in Iowa? Is the rally tomorrow night in Iowa? President Trump's rally last night is going to be a big one. Oh, man. Somebody had just messaged me. I just got a text message. They said, was that last caller Joe Biden? Perhaps. It could have been. Oh, my goodness. It could have been. No, but there is a Trump rally Saturday night, and I have no plans for Saturday night with my wife other than staying home in front of the TV. I'll be watching on Newsmax. And I'll say this to Fox News, who's celebrating 25 years. Start carrying the Trump rallies. Start carrying the Trump rallies, Fox News, if you want to have another 25th and, for your 50th anniversary in 25. I'll be watching on Newsmax. That's where I know some of you will be watching on One American News. That's cool. But I'll be watching the Trump rally on Newsmax TV. I'm sure they'll carry it Saturday night. It's going to be a great time. There's a lot going on, and I know that President Trump is always very relevant to what's going on. Now, on that note, it's time to say goodbye for today. Steve will be back on Monday. We'll be here on Monday. I do know it's Columbus Day. We are working on Columbus Day. I imagine most people are working on Columbus Day, except bank workers and school teachers. But, yeah. All right, guys. Hey, listen, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a very, very good weekend. Check out the Trump rally. My name's Brian. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. And we're going to end here. I just want to remind everybody that Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have the lowest prices anywhere, is open on Saturdays. So you can stop in on Saturday for your tires over at Friendly Tire in Margate. Give Mike a call over there. Friendly Mike will give you a quote on your tires right over the phone, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Friendly Tire in Margate. Open on Saturdays. All right, guys. Oh, that was a weird noise I just made. See you guys on Monday morning, 6 a.m. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Saddlefoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. We've got you.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. Thanks for watching. I got a new podcast coming up later today. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe and click the notification bell. All right, everybody in there, make sure you got the notifications clicked. You'll get the notification from my new podcast coming up later. And also, everyone, before you go, please like the video. That helps spread the word about this channel. If you like the video, that helps a lot. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.